Yo, 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 what's up? Here we go.
I got a strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glowy, yeah, I'm fresh out the shop. Let's start rolling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Yo, 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 what's good, people, man? I hope everybody is doing well this evening, man. That's my name is Brandon Grant. I am the host of Going Live with Bowtie, man. Man, I hope you guys are doing well during this troubled time that we're going through, man. But all in all, I am here to put a smile on your face, to make you laugh, and to give you some great information and some stories of some great individuals, man, that you may not know. So tonight's guest, my boy from Detroit, Michigan, my boy Gerald Johnson. Guys, if you don't know him, it's a whole lot of stuff that I don't know about. But I asking questions, we shooting questions. We about to find out about my boy. And like I said, I met him a couple years ago, and he's been down to earth and like a big brother to me ever since. So I'm gonna bring my boy to the screen. What up, G?
What's up, Brandon?
Man,
what a pleasure to be here.
Man, it's a pleasure to be on earth, bro, with everything that's going on.
I know that's right. Everybody be safe out there.
Man, absolutely, man. Dude, hey, just off the back, I just want to say, man, I thank you for your time, for even coming on the show, man. Real talk.
Definitely. This is something I really look forward to, man. This is the hottest show on the internet.
Man, hey, I'm trying to get there and make it hot, bro. Like, dude, hey, with everybody I got going on, people reaching out, people giving me names, the support of Ron Sims, dude, he supports me like no other, man, with names and anything that I need. So, dude, I was at work all day thinking about this. I said, man, I got Gerald Johnson coming on the show. What can I ask him?
Any question? It's funny that you brought Ron up because I talked to Ron before I actually came on the broadcast, and if he ain't one of the most positive brothers I have ever come across, Brandon,
man,
he's just a beautiful human being, and I've been lucky to know Ron for many years, and very thankful that he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, I 100% agree, man. Like when I met Ron from day one, it's been nothing but positivity, and dude, that positive energy just it feeds off of him, and it just touches everybody that he talks to, and I truly, truly appreciate Big Ron, man. No doubt.
Yes, definitely. Like I say, Ron is I've been knowing him for years. I've been very fortunate to come in contact with him, and bowling a lot of TNBA events when, Ron was there, and the TNBA is so important to Ron, myself, right, you, and most of the people that are probably going to tune into the broadcast.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely, man. Hey, I'm going to start off, man. Like I said, you've been bowling, dude, for a long time.
Long time. Started back when I was maybe like 14 or 15. It's funny, I actually used to go down to this bowling alley in Detroit, Garden Bowl, and I would keep score, and make money. And then I would stay down there. I was like 15 years old. I stayed down there and I jackpot with the adult bowlers, try to make some money. And I would actually stay there all night. My mom knew about it. I'd stay in the bar, sleep in the bar, and then bowl the next morning in the youth league.
No way.
Yeah, that's how I got started. Yeah, that's how I got started.
Wow.
Yeah, stay all night and then bowl the next morning in the youth league.
Hey, that is a first. That is the absolute first I've ever heard of.
That's how I used to get my hustle on. That's how I learned.
Wow.
Bowling with the better bowlers made me a better bowler. I hardly ever bowled against youth bowlers. It was always the adults on Friday nights. Jackpot, and then, like I said, Saturday morning, usually I was ready to go on a couple hours sleep.
Man, that is amazing right there, bro. Hey,
oh yeah.
My question is, why do you love the game so much?
The people I've come in contact with, different states. I've been all over the country bowling, and like I said, it's the people. Like I said, I told you earlier I was going to mention some people from different states. Matter of fact, even starting out with people out your way, like Vernon Adams and Jello Gray, man. And, I met people like that out there. Raul Rosales, Daryl Ratliff. I don't think Daryl is from Vegas, but I met him out there when I was bowling the tap. But I've developed a friendship with so many of these people, and it's unbelievable, man. Guys I would have never known had it not been for bowling.
Right.
I love Vernon, man. They call him the Black Jesus.
Man,
that boy can get the strike.
Hey, it's so funny, dude. Like, he got that name from me and the missus 10, 11, 12 years ago. She was like, this dude is like Black Jesus on the lane out here. And ever since that strike, man, I'll tell you, it's so funny because ever since that name, she started calling him that. Dude, I mean, that name jumped like that. And now it's like everybody knows that name.
Oh, hey, you know what? He's not just a great bowler. He's a good human being, man. He's such a cool dude, man. And if you don't like him, something's wrong with you. He's just a good guy.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Jello and his main man Jello the same way. Yeah. Jello was cool. I actually met them both bowling in the Reed Hawthorne tournament a couple years ago.
Right, and we was all out there together.
Yeah, I remember, and I was like, hey, these guys come all the way from the West Coast to bowl this. I mean, that's how I used to be back in the day. When it was a Canadian club, people was coming from all over. I remember Kenny Rogers was saying in his interview that they were coming from New York, California, all over, and it was the place to be, man. It's too bad it's not still doing well like it had did in the past, but it was the Canadian club, man. It was, if you didn't have your spot by Christmas, you was shut out. Shut out. Yeah, it was a place to be, man. I was fortunate enough to be in the great company of some great Black bowlers here in Michigan, which got me started going to the Canadian club. People like Bobby Williams, Edwin Purve, Dave Chappelle, not the comedian Dave Chappelle. We had the Dave Chappelle here, who was one of the best Black bowlers in the country. And he passed away and he had an accident. A lady hit him he was riding a bike. He was supposed to be at a tournament with us in Chicago, Brandon, and he was running late because he was always seemed to be running late. So I stayed behind waiting for David, and he got killed that day riding a bike across 8 Mile Road. And he was one of the greatest bowlers in Michigan history. Not only one of the greatest Black bowlers, he was one of the greatest bowlers in Michigan history.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks, man.
Yeah, we were supposed to be in Chicago bowling in the tournament. I was in Chicago constantly, Brandon. It seemed like I was there every other weekend bowling tournaments, and I was willing to go anywhere and bowl. It didn't matter to me. And then I developed a great friendship with so many people in Chicago. Like I was saying, Derek Banks. Well, I remember talking about him when Kenny Rogers was on. They called him Stein. They called him. I think Stein meant like Einstein. He had glasses and he was almost like a scientist. Bowling was like, he would come up with formulas and whatnot. But at the time when I met Derek, he was one of the best, not best Black bowlers. He was one of the best bowlers in the country.
Wow.
I remember I was telling you, he won one of the first high rollers. It was called the Harvey's Classic back then for $125,000. But I'm telling you, he was so good that he never got the chance to bowl in the Canadian club because Bill Hawthorne said, I'm not going to let him ruin my tournament, and they barred him.
And he wasn't a touring pro, he was just good.
Well, he ended up becoming a touring pro. He toured for a while. He never won a national title, but he plenty of cashes. But right. He was that good. I'm sure he was caught up in not being able to be out there full time, which a lot of unfortunately, a lot of the Black bowlers run into that are good enough, but don't seem to find the sponsorship and can't be out there full time, or may have a family or whatnot.
Right.
But, Derek Banks was one of the best. Like I said, I was in Chicago every other weekend, and I got a chance to meet him. People like Christopher Modrow, T.P. Peterson, Ari Wilson. Ari was from Chicago. He's out there in Vegas now. And people like Mario Martinez, Leroy Rock Johnson, Billy O. I know you know about Billy Oatman.
Yeah.
Brian Gunn, Patrick John. I mean, it's just so many people, and I've been fortunate to bowl with these people and against these people and made great friendships with them.
Wow. Hey, Kenny Saxton, he from down here. He says, do you think bowling is the most competitive sport of all time?
Wow, that's a good question, Kenny. Very. I think it is. A lot of people take it personal. A lot of people take it personal, and it can be competitive. But I learned from a good friend of mine. One of my best friends passed away a couple of years ago. His name was Mike Chapman. I used to be real competitive, Brandon, but he taught me to be humble, competitive, but be humble at the same time. You know, never pull against your opponent. Whatever has happened is going to happen. You know, if he's striking or if he's doing well, I have no problem giving him a high five. Everybody ain't like that. But he said it's wasted energy pulling against your opponent. And you get out there and do the best you can.
Absolutely. Hey, what kind of relationship did you and Chapman have? Where did you guys meet?
Oh, man, we met here in Michigan, and we actually met. Lou and Sarah started they got an organization called the Senior Singles Open here. You have to be 50 to bowl. You can't have a national title. You know, you can have a regional title. You got to be 50 years old. And Mike was one of the directors. I'm actually a director now, but Mike was one of the directors, and we just hit it off, man. Something about him, man. We just hit it off, and he ended up being my best friend. We actually won a PBA doubles tournament together in Canton, Ohio, a couple of years back in 2016. Like I say,
this is what Kenny is talking about. Tell us the moment when you and Chappie ran down Walter Ray.
You know what? It's actually one of my most memorable moments. We were bowling in the tournament. We qualified. We led qualifying. We got into match play on Sunday, and we got to the semifinals, and we were bowling against Walter Ray Williams and his partner, Tom Carter, and they both started out with the front six. And it's funny about the story. Every time they struck, Chappie would reach to get him a high five, and they were looking at him like, what are you doing? We bowl on the tour. We don't give people fives. And they were looking at us like we were crazy. We giving them high five. They both started off with the front six. I didn't have a double, and I struck in the fifth, doubled in the sixth. Chappie had a double out the gate and never struck again until the sixth. And we were about 90 pins down, and we both struck out and shot. We beat them 504 to 498. And then we went on and bowled in the championship against Dave Passion and Dean Billings from Ohio, and we beat them in the finals. I shot 300 in the championship game, and I'll never forget that for as long as I live, man. That's probably the most important tournament I've ever won. Of all the tournaments I've won, having that title with Mike Chapman, I think about him daily too, man. I'm telling you, I've had so many friends over the years, but the relationship me and him had, I really can't even explain it. I had so much love for this guy. Like I said, well, what's going on in the world today, man? This was a white man in his late 50s that I had never known before. Yeah. And just had the ultimate love for each other and the ultimate respect. The race never came up in our relationship. Never came up, and we just had the utmost respect for each other.
That's dope right there, man.
Oh, yeah, that's my best friend, man. I'll never, like I say, and the funny thing was I wanted a picture with Walter Ray. And, you know, he's the greatest bowler ever, and I wanted to take a picture with him, but we was getting ready to bowl him in the match. So after we beat him, I was like, man, this probably wouldn't be a good idea to ask him to take a picture. Man, Walter Ray was one of the coolest guys I've ever met, Brandon. I don't know if it was his wife at the time. She said, hey, I was like, you sure it'd be okay for me to take a picture with him? She said, yeah. She's like, Walton, get over here. And he came over and hugged me. I got a nice picture with him, man, and he was so cool about it. He told me, go ahead, go on and win the tournament. Like I said, I shot 300 in the championship match, and I'll never forget it, Brandon. It's the highlight of my life, man.
Wow, that is dope.
Yeah, the great Walter Ray. I actually ran into him again when I won the Canadian. I want to call it the Canadian Club. When I won the Reed Hawthorne last year in 2019, I won a free entry into the USBC Senior Masters in Vegas. And I ran into him out there in Vegas, and he was just so nice to me, man, and treated me like I was somebody. And then, like I said, I'll never forget it. That was the toughest senior field I ever bowled against, Brandon. Walter Ray, Pete Weber, Norm Duke, Chris Warren. I mean, and it was unbelievable. And I was probably nervous starting off. But once I got comfortable, I actually bowled good. I actually made match play. I qualified like 13th. They took the top 64. I actually qualified in 13th place and won my first match, and then I lost the next two. But it was an experience I'll never forget, man. I realized how good those guys really are.
Oh, yeah.
I was a decent bowler. Brandon, not even close when it comes to Norm Duke, Pete Weber, and them, man. It was just, they just repeat shot after shot after shot, and then having that, you know, having equipment and having the best of the best, man, it's almost impossible to beat them guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very fortunate, man. 2019, was a dream year for me, and I don't think I'll ever top it. I won the TAC tournament in Vegas, and then I won the Reed Hawthorne. I came home. I won one of the Metro Detroit USBC series tournaments. Then I won the season-long Cup Series, and then I got inducted into the Metro Detroit Hall of Fame, all in the same year, man.
Wow.
I don't know why God blessed me like He did, man, but I'll never be able to top that year.
He blessed you because you deserved it, bro.
I don't know if I deserve it, but I'm very thankful, man. Like I said, I was talking to Ron Sims earlier, and I like lifting up other people, man. Like I said, you'll hear me talk about all of these people on this list that I wrote down because I tried to make sure I didn't forget anybody, but I've been very fortunate, man, to be around some of the best bowlers in the world. And luckily through Storm, I don't want to forget them. I've been with Storm for a few years now. I've been throwing Storm equipment forever.
Right.
I've actually signed a few years ago, but, Gary Hosenberg, Blair B, Don Moss, and then Tim Mack. I couldn't ask for a better team, man. And like Tim Mack, a quick story. I met Tim Mack at the High Rollers back in the early 90s.
Right.
I met Tim Mack, Robert Smith, Brad Angelo, Chris Barnes, Dino Castillo. And I don't know why these people were so nice to me. Well, everybody but Chris Barnes. But anyway, they were so nice. I had to be honest. They were so nice to me, and I developed a relationship with Tim Mack to this day, man. I see him, and he's a busy man out there with, he's a tour guy and with all these. And when he sees me, man, he stops what he's doing and pays attention to what I'm doing. They drill, blah, blah, blah. And, those things, it just makes you feel good, man. Just good people.
Oh, yes.
I'll never forget Tim Mack, man. I'm telling you, they lucky Tim Mack decided to be one of the top amateurs, because if he had pursued a professional career, it'd be a lot of people with a lot less titles. I'm telling you, Tim Mack was that good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Ron said, have you ever had anyone foolishly try to change your style?
No, that hop ain't going nowhere.
Now, I had a question about that.
I wish I could get to the line like Ronnie Sparks, but it ain't happening. And I've been successful all these years, and I'm not about to change it, man. I'm not about to change it. Speaking of Ronnie, man, I know I could spend all day and all night talking about him, man. Besides being a beautiful human being, this is just my opinion, and people, they have their opinion. Ronnie Sparks is the best bowler I've ever seen.
Really?
Period. He's the best bowler I've ever seen. I wish I was rich. Brandon. I'd pay all his bills and send his family with him out on tour just so he could be on tour, so these young black bowlers could see how great this man is. I'm telling you, he's the best bowler I've ever seen.
Wow.
I've seen a lot of great bowlers. Ronnie is the best bowler I've ever seen. And like I said, I know people are going to have their opinions and they're entitled to them. And I know I just got mad love for Ronnie, but I'm telling you, I wish he could be on tour full time, not have to worry about bills back at home. And, but this man is trying to raise his family. He got 2 beautiful young kids and a wife. But I'm telling you, I wish the world could see him, man. The way he performs is he's just unbelievable, man. I've never seen anybody like him.
Wow. Hey, that's big ups, Ronnie, because boy, coming from
I'm telling you, he's the best I've ever seen. I'm sorry, I know all the top tour guys, Walter Ray and and Belmo and all of them. Like I said, I see Ronnie on a regular basis, man, and he's just flawless. He's just flawless.
Hey, do me a favor. Let's get him on the show.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, everybody will. That would probably be your most top-rated show. People just want to see him, man. Ronnie like a god around here, man.
Let's get him on the show.
Good vibes, and he could be arrogant and whatnot, but he's not. He's down to earth. He talks to everybody. He treats people great. Everybody's after him for giving lessons and whatnot. Brandy wish she could catch up with him because she's trying to get some lessons from Ronnie, but he's a busy man. She's been trying for a while, so I had to put him on blast like that. Sorry, Ronnie.
Yep. Hey, Gail Rogers asks, when are you gonna come down in Cali and bowl one of our huge tournaments?
I will get out. I promise I'll get out there. If Vern Adams and Jello Gray and you guys can come this way, we can come out that way. I'll make it out there. If I have to sneak out that way the next time I bowl a tat and stay a couple extra days, I promise I'll get out that way. Me and Brandy get out there and bowl one of those tournaments.
Hey, just be ready because me, Vern, and Jello, and one of my other boys was on the phone today. Hey, we got some stuff coming. So when we got it, we got some in the works.
You only live once. You only live once. I'll come out there, man. I've been everywhere. I'll come out there.
Okay, I got you on that.
I would love to come to Cali.
Look, where were you born and raised?
Right here in Detroit, Michigan. It's funny that I'm working at Henry Ford Hospital right now. You know, with this pandemic, I'm an elevator mechanic. I used to work construction. I worked construction for like 15 years, but I've been fortunate enough now to be at Henry Ford Hospital. I'm an elevator maintenance mechanic. You know, we keep all the elevators running down there. And I was actually born in that hospital.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I pretty much spent my entire life here in Detroit, man. Indeed. I couldn't even see myself living nowhere. Maybe in Vegas when I retire, but yeah, I love the D, man. The D has been good.
Talking about you're an elevator technician, correct?
Yes.
Hey, give us, because I have that question down here. Give us your best elevator story.
Oh man. Best elevator story. Oh man. Best elevator story.
And why
to be honest,
the highest building you've had to work
in? The stop building that was 38 floors. Actually, my son is on a project right now. The building was going to be taller than the Renaissance Center. It was going to be like 80 stories. My son is actually one of the engineers on this project, but I heard they reduced it to like 44 stories. But all my life, I wanted to work on a high rise, say 100 stories. Everybody tell me I'm crazy, but I love heights. I ain't afraid of heights.
Ooh, boy.
One of my best stories real fast though, Brandon, is a lady that's a friend. Her son is a friend of my son, and she was teaching at the school, and it was a handicapped kid, and he wanted to be an elevator guy and blah, blah, whatnot. And she asked me, could I come to the school and meet this kid, and I came to the school, met him. I gave him one of our bump caps. I gave him an elevator vest and some elevator keys and whatnot. It was a handicapped kid, man. I'm telling you, it made this kid's day, man. And it made me feel so good to go up there and do this for this kid. That's probably my best elevator story, that I made this guy feel good.
There you go. Hey, Maurice Moore said, what's your thoughts on the future of the TNBA?
Wow. Hopefully it gets better. Brandon, I had talked with Debbie Lewis. I really, really wanted to take over the Rodman tournament. I really did. The only reason I haven't or made an attempt, I wanted to be the director, is I still want to bowling. That's
right.
That's the only reason. I've been fortunate enough to I won the Rodman in 91, and then I won the national championship, the Rodman in 91 in Denver, Colorado. Matter of fact, I lost my job going to bowl in the national in Colorado. My boss wouldn't give me 2 days off. I worked for this company for 6 years, and I asked my boss for 2 days off, and he's like, no. I said, well, I guess I'm gonna be fired when I get back because I'm going. I won the Rodman tournament. I've been wanting to win this tournament my whole life, and I actually won. And I beat the great Mac Ivory. That's my dude. And to win the Rodman and beat Mac Ivory was the best bowler on the planet at that time. And I said, I'm going to Denver, Colorado. Y'all just gonna have to fire me. So when I got back, I won the national championship out in Denver. And when I got back, they fired me.
Wow.
And you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I was glad it happened. I ended up at a better company, but I wasn't turning that down, man. And then I won the Rodman again in 2000. And I won the senior Rodman in 2016. So the Rodman has been good to me. The TNBA has been great to me. And hopefully one day things will get better. The entries will, increase. But I plan on being a Rodman director one of these days. I just don't want to stop bowling them.
There you go. Hey, Kenny said, how many threes and eights have you bowled in tournaments?
That's a hard number. In tournaments is I can't really remember that number. 300, I probably got close to 85, 300s. 800s all time, I probably got close to 50. I can't remember all of them. But like I said, the one where I bowled the 300 in the championship match with Chappie and the PBA double tournament, by far the most memorable. And I think the second most memorable 300 I had was my first game ever in match play at the High Rollers. I shot 300 my first match. It was against a touring player. He wasn't a big name, but he was a touring player, and they let his wife sit down in the settee area. And I guess I was going to be a little worried about it, and I shot 300 in my first game. Matter of fact, make a quick story. Ernie Slagle was offering $10,000 for a 300 game, and my sponsor, Gary Jones, I was using Slagle grips, and I shot 300, and we didn't get that 10,000. We chased him down for about 7 days. Wanted to know what's going on. You said I signed the thing saying if I shoot 300, I get 10,000. I was using Slagle grips, but he settled out. I guess he settled out of court with my sponsor, Gary Jones. He gave him $1,000.
Man, that's crazy.
Gary vouched for that. Yeah, he gave us $1,000. It was supposed to have been 10,000, but I don't know what happened with that. It must have been
because they didn't think nobody was going to do it. That's why that's why.
But I've been very fortunate, man. Like I say, all I ever wanted to do was shoot 300.
Right. And
like I said, to get to that many is just very blessed. I was, for a long time, Brandon, I bowled in houses when I was growing up, bowling in leagues. We bowled in some dungeons. There was no 300 shot. The houses I bowled in, I was playing Fifth Arrow. We bowled in a Sunday morning league at Southfield Bowl. At 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday morning, we was playing Fifth Arrow.
Off the bat?
Right off the bat.
Wow.
The owner of the bowling alley, Herb Warner, didn't believe in high scores, and he wasn't going to let nobody shoot those scores in his house. So he would flood them, like right at 10, flood it. Your ball go right at 10, it was 1, it was in the gutter. So you had to get a fallback shot from Fifth Arrow.
Dang. Hey, look, Roger said,
the world about the boys.
Yeah.
Man, my smile will just light up the screen as soon as I'm talking about my boys, man. My 4 boys are my life, Brandon, and I love them unconditionally. I can't even express to you what my boys mean to me, man.
So you got 4 boys.
4 boys. Yeah, my oldest boy, Gerald, he's 27. Dre, you've probably seen Dre. Dre's bowling.
Hey, I just met Dre and just realized he was your son.
That's
bro.
My son. Yeah, 2-handed, striking like crazy. Him and that damn Jordan Horns.
I hate both of them, but I love them.
Hey, take your belt off next time you see both of them and crack them for me. And my youngest 2 boys, Deshaun, he's getting ready to graduate this year. Too bad they can't have the graduation the way they want to, but they're gonna have something this Thursday. But he's actually going to Michigan State, man. He's 3.8 grade point average. Won the DECA award. He's won so many awards, man. And my other son is following in his footsteps. Trayvon, he's like 3.8 grade point average, man. And I'm like I said, I'm so blessed to have educated and good kids, man. Never been in trouble with the police or and like I say, I talk to them all the time and tell them to be careful out there because it's dangerous out there, man. And I think about it all the time.
That's my question. As a father, how did you mentor them to keep them straight and out of jail?
That belt. That belt. I didn't play, man. My older 2 boys, Gerald and DeAndre, their mom, Kathy, she was a disciplinarian. She didn't play. She had 5 brothers who were all great athletes, and they grew up in a tough neighborhood, but they made sure my boys didn't fall by the wayside. They was like, no, we've seen that too many times. We ain't gonna let y'all do that, and y'all gonna go to school, y'all gonna get great grades, and they were gonna face the consequences if they didn't. And then luckily, Deshaun and Trayvon just followed in their footsteps.
Right.
Followed in their footsteps. They wanted to be like their brothers, man. I'm telling you, no C's ever came to my household. Nothing but A's and B's, and mostly all A's. And they were all, like I said, Dre. I love Dre to death, and he really got a bad break. And a lot of people don't know when Dre got a full scholarship. Dre was a starting point guard at Cass Tech High School as a freshman, and he got a full scholarship to Florida Atlantic University. And Dre got injured. He kept getting injured, man, and he got a bad break. Like I said, with injuries, and he had a promising career, man. And like I say, you one injury away from being done, and that's when he started bowling. When he stopped playing basketball, but. Real quick story, when he was at Florida Atlantic University, probably one of the most disappointing days of my life, when Dre had got injured, and then they changed coaches, and we flew down to Florida and talked to the coaches, and it's like, oh yeah, man, Dre's good, he's healing up, and everything's going to be fine. Little did I know, they had already taken his scholarship away and was trying to get him off the campus. But the coach telling me to my face that everything was good. And everything's going to be all right.
Wow.
That had to be one of the most disappointed. Dre was disappointed, but I told him, I said, son, everything happens for a reason, man. And like I said, they're all good, man. Like I said, I'm very blessed, man. My boys are my life. Nothing comes before them. I hardly ever miss, even with the bowling, Brandon, I hardly ever miss any of their activities. Never.
Right.
I mean, if I had a tournament and they had something going on, that was first. Bowling came second, man. People think that I bowl in all of these leagues and I bowl 5 days a week, man. I've been in one league. I bowl 3 games a week, probably for the last 14 years. I've been in one league.
And look, Wanda Parker asked, how often do you practice?
I knew that question was coming. And I know they ain't going to believe it, Brandon. I haven't practiced in 30 years. I don't practice. I don't
Hey,
practice.
Jello and Byron, if y'all heard that right there.
Yeah, 30 years. You won't find any film of me practicing anywhere in any bowling alley in Michigan because I don't. And not to say that I think I'm that good. It's just that when I get to tournaments now, the tournaments I bowl, when I throw 15 minutes of shallow balls, if I can't figure it out by then, oh well. I've been around long enough. There ain't nothing they can put out there that I haven't seen. And you can throw a few shallow balls, Brandon. You're a bowler, good bowler. Right away where not to play.
Right.
To me, that's the key. Knowing where not to play. I really hate that they post patterns and whatnot nowadays. Back in the day, they didn't do that. Man, you get out there and bowl. But I wish they wouldn't post patterns and give people an advantage, And I know I have an advantage over bowlers being on staff and, having the best equipment and whatnot. And we actually came up with a rule now in the SSO, like I said, the organization that Lou and Sarah started, which is the greatest organization around Michigan, man. I'm telling you, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, they came up with a rule that you can't throw balls that aren't released yet. Basically that's, telling me I can't throw, or anybody, you can't throw balls that aren't released. So I have balls that released to me that drilled and ready that my man Ronnie Jones drilled for me. But right. I even agreed with this rule. I shouldn't have that advantage over the other bowlers to, use balls that aren't released yet. But, it all works out, man. I don't want to have that advantage. I want to win on my talent. It's nice to have the best equipment, but I don't want to have a disadvantage over anybody. I'm not looking for a disadvantage.
There you go. Hey, Frank Robinson asked, tell us about your battles with Arnie Goldman.
Oh, Frank, that's a good question. I love Arnie Goldman. Like I said, me and Arnie used to have the same sponsor. We only had sponsors when I went out to Vegas, like bowling high rollers at the showboat and, at the tat tournament. Lou and Sarah sponsored me when I won the tat tournament. But me and Arnie actually had the same sponsor. We bowled the high rollers one year, and we drew each other in the first round.
Wow.
2,000 bowlers. His mom came up, bless her soul. She passed away. She picked the card out of the stack, and she picked one for me and picked one for Arnie, and we bowled each other. Don't get me wrong, Arnie is a character. I don't know if you know him. He is a character, but he was a great bowler. He was probably one of the best head-up bowlers in the history of bowling. He was a clown. He was a character. He came up with this invention, this perfector grip, and he was, walking around asking people for screwdrivers. And he asked me one time, "You got a screwdriver?" I'm like, "Man, why would I be carrying a screwdriver around in my bag?" But we've had our battles and whatnot. But Arnie's a great bowler. Like I said, he won the high rollers one year for $125,000. I think that was 2 years after the year we bowled each other. He was a great bowler.
125 racks, man.
Yeah, wow. 120. Matter of fact, his sponsor, Gary Jones, after he won the tournament, he was sponsored quite a few of us. It was Arnie. I don't know if Nick Wissinger and them were there that time. Me and Edwin Pert. He offered, I think he took them, they left Vegas and went to Hawaii. Me and Pert had to go back home. We had jobs. I was like, man, I got to go to work. My job is so waiting for a bowl.
Hey, look, Tank Parker asked, thinking back to when you started bowling to now, what are some of the challenges that you faced and how did they shape your career now?
Bowling under tough conditions, bowling at Southfield Bowl. If you could bowl at Southfield Bowl, you could bowl anywhere. Like I said, it taught me how to play way in. Like I said, fade the ball from fifth arrow, get up in front of the ball return. They had matter of fact, they had the long ball return at Southfield, so you couldn't get in front of the ball return. You had to rub your legs up against it and drift as much as you could before you let it go. And like I say, bowling under tough conditions really helped. But to be honest, Brandon, I was an okay bowler in my younger days, and in my 20s, and I was just I wasn't no great bowler. I was decent.
Right.
I flourished once I became a senior bowler. Like I said, I actually, not bragging, I actually have over 50 titles, but probably almost 40 of them came after I became a senior.
Wow.
Yeah, like I say, I was an okay bowler. I benefited from equipment, the changing of equipment, and then like I said, I was just an okay bowler. Like I said, I got this list here of some of Michigan's great bowlers, Brandon, like like the Harold Sullins, the Mazas, the Bobby Williams, the Perts, the Bob Chamberlains, Dick Beattie, Dave Ewald, Gene Stubb. I mean, it's so many great bowlers from Michigan. Those were the past tense bowlers, and we got the present bowlers now, like Craig Niderfer, Snodgrass, Justin Knowles, Ronnie Sparks, Mason Brantley, Lonnie Jones, Kenny Rogers. I include George Gohagan because he always here anyway. I consider him a Michigan president. You got Jordan, you got my son Dre, Carlton Chambers, Anthony Wright. I mean, the list goes on. Charles Brown, Krista Perniak, Mike Calhoun, Kurt Pelon, J.R. Raymond. It's just so many great bowlers from Michigan, man. It's just, I could just go on for hours talking about these guys. And I've just been fortunate to be around these guys and learn learn a few tricks from them. But all of these guys they all winners, man.
Wow.
They all winners.
Hey, look, Stephen Ewald asked, speaking of Chappie, when will you run another Chapman Memorial? I love helping run that tournament with you, man. You did an awesome job running it.
Yeah, hopefully we can do that again real soon, Stevie. That, like I say, that tournament meant so much to me and Brandy. Like I said, he was my best friend. Like I said, Edwin Perk, and I got a few other people that have been lifelong friends, best friends for years, and only knew Chappie for a couple of years, man. And it's just something about him, man. And we just were attracted to each other as human beings. And he was just a great dude, man. And I think about him. There ain't a day that goes by that I don't think about this man, man. I love Chappie to the day I die, man. And I will definitely do another tournament in his memorial, man, and in his honor. And hopefully I'll get it done soon. But like I said, with everything that's going on, it's hard to even think about rolling any kind of tournaments. Just hopefully we actually get to bowl in league this year. But I will definitely run a tournament in his honor again. I will never let his name go in vain, man. I have to keep him out there, man. Like I said, I'm so fortunate. I got so many people in my life, bowling wise, that are just good people. What's unbelievable, when I speak of the Ronnie Sparks and the Masons and the Lonnie Jones and Kenny, people like Mason. Mason's a great bowler, but just read some of Mason's posts sometime on Facebook, and it'll tell you how much in love he is with his family, and his kids. And, and Ronnie love his family and his kids, and Lonnie Jones and Kenny, these guys speak up for causes and, things like that. And those are the type of people I associate myself with, man. I ain't got time for the negative people, Brandon, positive people like yourself and Vern and them. I don't want to be around any kind of negative people, man. I deal strictly with positive people, and other than that, I don't got time for the rest of this. Like
It's
I said,
crazy, man.
what's going on in the world, man? It's just like I said, I wish people could see me and Chappie, our relationship, man, and just man, it's just I got pictures of them up on my wall, man, and a friend of mine, Brad Gray, gave me a picture of me and him when we won the tournament in Canton, and blew it up for me, man. And like Brad Gray is another guy, the white guy. He's in his 50s, only been knowing him a year. And this guy's like one of the best friends I've ever had in my life.
Right.
It's amazing, man. It's just, I wish people would see this, man. We all the same, man. We all bleed red, Brandon.
Yes, and it's not about the color on the outside. That's
all I want to do is work, take care of my family, man, and just continue on, man. I've been so blessed, man. If I never win another tournament, if hopefully I stay with Storm, I'm sure that day is gonna come to an end one day. But I've been so blessed and so lucky to have so many good people in my corner, man. It's just I can't lose. I can't lose.
Go, man.
I've been so successful, man. I want to make sure that all of these young bowlers, man, stick with it. They ain't got nothing but success waiting for them. But you have to be patient, man, and you have to deal with some of that adversity and just keep it moving, man. But like I say, nobody has been luckier than me. Nobody, man. I don't even consider myself. People are like, you're a great bowler. I think I'm a decent bowler, man. I ain't great. That's reserved for people like Andrew Anderson, Ronnie, Mason, those guys, man. Those are great bowlers. I'm a father. I'm a father first. I'm a bowler second, man. Being a father means I'm telling you, if you're around Brandon when I'm gone from this earth, please do me a favor. Make sure that they don't put on my tombstone nothing about me bowling. Tell them how great of a father I was, man. And how much.
Hey, y'all hear that? Look, everybody that's watching, he don't want no bowling related stuff on that tombstone.
On my tombstone. Tell them how great a father I was and how much I love my kids, and I did as much as I possibly could to make sure that they have a better life. And I actually turned out 4 good human beings. They ain't out there getting in no trouble and causing nobody no havoc, and because I ain't having it. I treat them too good to let them be, dysfunctional and out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Hey, they don't see me doing it, Brandon, so that's probably why they're not doing it. They don't see me doing it. I try to set a good example, and I think they're following it. They'll be better than I would. Dre's probably already better bowler than me now anyway. So
hey, speaking of Dre and Jordan, both of those guys, I vote with both of them. How do you, as father to Dre and probably like uncle to Jordan?
That's my son too.
Yeah. How have you tried to help them keep their mental game right when things don't go well?
It's hard. That's something they have to learn. That's just being young and cocky. Because they're good. And people constantly telling them they're good. But I tell them, you as good as your last game. You could go back-to-back 300s and shoot 160. They're gonna be talking about that 160. They ain't gonna be talking about them 300. They're gonna be like, what happened to you? So like I said, you're as good as your last game. You gotta enjoy it while you can and accept the bad days, because you're gonna have way more good days. There's some people that have never had good days. They have good days almost every time they step in the bowling alley, and they have to be content when they have those bad days, and bottom line is you got to get out there, you got to get a job, you got to work. Right. Trying to bowl for a living is crazy. I mean, I wouldn't say crazy, but to actually try to do it for a living, Brandon, it's almost impossible, man. It's almost impossible. Like I said, my kids would starve if they was waiting for me to bring home bowling money. No, I got a great 40-hour-a-week job, working for Schindler Elevator. I've been very blessed, man. And no, I can't count on, carrying the tin can to feed my kids. No way, man. What kind of father would I be relying on bowling to feed my family? No, I can't do it, man.
Hey, that right there is spoken like a true father. Dude, real talk. Because you hear a lot of people out there, dude, that don't have these jobs. And they was like, man, I got this tournament, I got this. But, dude, it's like they're relying on their sponsorship or somebody to sponsor them to these tournaments. They figure, I'm good enough. I'm going to win. I could go home and take money home to my family.
No, ain't no guarantees, man. Them taps be waiting. But I try to tell, like I try to tell Dre and Jordan, man, them pins go out a lot better, man, when you got that guaranteed check coming, man. Like I said, I know they young and they learning, but you got, like I said, when you got responsibilities, like I've had, people used to be like, why didn't, years ago, why didn't you try that tour? Man, please. And, whenever the tour would come to town, a few years ago, and even the seniors, like I said, I bowled in 2 PBA 50 tournaments. I was fortunate to cash in one and win the other. But when the tour come in town, I was like, they don't work on elevators, and I don't bowl their tournaments. And that's how I look at it. They're good at what they do, and I'm good at what I do. And like I said, they're like, oh, you could compete. I said, that's not the point, man. That's their job. Me working on elevators is my job, not bowling, And I wouldn't even disrespect them by getting out there and thinking that I'm going to come out there and make a living off these guys. Even PBA 50s, you still got to be Walter Ray, Norm Duke, Pete Weber, Ron Moore, Chris Warren. These guys, they haven't forgot how to bowl. They're still great bowlers. And people talk about, yeah, when I get 50, I'm going on the PBA 50 tour. Yeah, good luck with that. You're going to starve to death out there messing with them people. I'm just being honest, Brandon. Like I said, I would never tell anybody not to chase their dream, but these guys were champions on the regular tour. They're gonna be the same champions on the PBA 50 tour, man. And I got mad respect after watching them at the USBC Masters in Vegas, man. The guys that go out there and just bowl part-time win, nowhere near on that level, man. They up here. You know, we down here, man. And in order to get there, you got to do it for a living.
Man, hey, look, Stephen Ewald, hey, they said, tell them what happened at the SSO Championship this past year. What happened?
What happened at the SSO Championship this past year? This past year, what happened, Brandon? I don't know, Stevie. You got to tell him he got to refresh the championship last year. I don't know if he's talking about Joe Virginia beating Larry Walker to make it to where I won Bowler of the Year. I'm not sure what he's talking about. He's gonna have to be a little more, give me a little more data. I'm not sure about that. You know,
he'll pop back in.
I was fortunate enough to win. I've actually won 6. We've had 8 seasons. I won 6 Bowler of the Years. Ken Wyatt won the other 2, but people fail to realize the 6 years that I won, Ken Wyatt could have won all 6 of those years. So he could have won Bowler of the Year all 8 years that we've been in existence. I actually won 6 of them, but like I said, I was very fortunate. Like I said, I just consider myself fortunate, man. Very fortunate.
Hey, Ron Sims said, tell them about them ladies in the Dido.
Oh, I know he's talking about how they strike. Man, they don't play. They can strike. Matter of fact, I want to mention some of the great women that I've actually had the chance to bowl with. If you don't mind, Brandon.
Oh no, you're good.
Cheryl Daniels, Mickey Webb, Novella Daniels. Carmen Allen, Michelle Ewald, Tamika Glenn. Super J, Jocelyn Jennings in Chicago. People don't know about her. She was and the great Stacy Timmer. Trisha Reed, Tamika Flemings, Jen Higgins, and of course my fiance Brandy. I better not leave her out. I won't eat tomorrow.
Hey, you would have been on the couch if you didn't say her name.
And she's a storm staffer too, so we're very fortunate to have 2 storm staffers in the house.
There you go. Hey, Jeremy Dixon. Look, Jeremy Dixon asked if you could change one thing about the game, what would it be and why? I know that's a good question, JD. I don't know if I change anything, because if you change one thing, you change a lot of things. So, and bowling has been so great to me. I don't think I change anything, because everything would be different. I wouldn't have all the great friends I've had. I might not have won the things I've won. So I really wouldn't be able to change anything, because I've been very fortunate. Like I said, if you change one thing, like in life, if you try to change one thing, it changes everything. So I'm going to have to say with that one, JD, I don't think I wish the proprietors would make them look tighter in their heads or something like that, man. I wish they hold them a little bit more, make them a little tighter. I'll say that. Hey, DP asks, hey, who is your biggest bowling inspiration?
My biggest bowling inspiration. Wow, that's a good one there. Probably would have to be my biggest bowling inspiration. Probably was my late great friend Dave Chappelle. He was so good. Oh, Brandon, he was so good. And he actually bowled for a living. This guy was in 11 leagues, Brandon. He was bowling twice a day. But he was so good back then. And, he was shooting back in the early 80s. He was shooting, 620 and 630 and robbing these leagues and winning total pins and winning 2 jackpots. He was in 11 leagues. That was his living. And he was just so good. Like I said, besides him, and of course, Chappie, every time I pick a bowling ball up, I think of Chappie and what kind of person he made. He made me a better person. I was a hothead, Brandon, at one time. I was a hothead. I was cocky. I was a hothead. I thought the bowling owed me something, and I wasn't always the easiest person to deal with. But Chappie taught me to be a better person, and winning ain't everything. And people are going to remember you not for the awards and the honor scores. They're going to remember your character. They're going to remember what type of person you are. And I've tried to be a better person because of Chappie. He taught me to be a better man. And that's the most important thing.
That's awesome right there, man. Oh my God, that is awesome. Hey, Kenny said, when can y'all trio team ever strike together?
Tell them to shut up. We won the last time we bowled, so that's all that matters. I bowled with Kenny, and Jordan, and it just seemed like one time one of us ain't striking and the other two is. And when I bowl with Kenny and Jordan, I actually hate bowling with them. You know why? Because they both in all the brackets and they silently pulling against each other. They trying to beat each other. They both in all the brackets, so you know they're trying to clobber each other. You know, they're giving high fives like, yeah, okay, man. You know, they ain't really pulling for each other. Because they both trying to, crowbar the brackets.
That is hilarious. Hey, look, Noviaz, hey, you need to mention some of the people that shaped your life, like her and Brandy, of course.
I just mentioned Novella.
Hey, she want to hear her name again. She want to hear it again.
You want to hear it? No, Novella. I love Novella. Novella. Me and Novella won. I remember me and Novella won the mixed doubles of the Rodman tournament, and me and Novella used to bowl quite a bit doubles together. She kind of kicked me to the curb. She said I kicked her to the curb, but she kicked me to the curb for my son Dre. She said she's going with some younger stuff. You know, I was like, no problem. But me and Novella used to be doubles partners, and Novella's a Hall of Famer. She's been a great bowler her entire life, and I've been knowing her whole family from her Uncle John White, you know, to Jalen. I know her whole family, her mom, and we've been family for years, man. And I've had a great friendship with Novella for many years. And then, of course, I mentioned Brandy. She's sitting right here. You want me to get killed, Nova?
Yeah, that part right there. Hey, look, Frank said, hey, favorite league story from Southfield.
Oh my God. Yeah, I got one for you too. I was they call it saving, you know, gappers or saving. I used to save 10% with certain bowlers in the league. And these were all great bowlers, and I wasn't that good of a bowler. And I was just lucky to be bowling with these guys. I think it was Pert. It might have been David, Reggie, Mike Brown. These are all great bowlers. And maybe 2 or 3 other bowlers. And I'm saving 10% with these guys, Brandon. And one night I won a pot of gold. And they won about $2,500. But I walked out of there. I was lucky if I had $500 because I gave everybody, all of them guys, 10%. So I gave everybody that I won $2,500. I had to give all them guys $250. I gave away all the money. I learned my lesson after that. I had to cut out that 10%.
Hey, look, I didn't even ask, and I didn't see nobody bring it up. Where did the name Stroker come from?
I have no idea. I have no idea. You know, one day, just out of the blue, somebody was calling me, and I'm like, where did this come from? And it just stuck, man. And it just stuck. You know, I got the nickname a couple years ago when I won the Roto Grip Challenge in Vegas, you know, at the TAC.
Yeah.
They called me AARP. You know, Jordan and Scoop, Leandre Thomas, they had got eliminated, so they were sitting there, and I was in, you know, down to the final 4, me and Aaron Horton and a few other people. And, you know, they were talking math, you know, and I was like, I'm going to show y'all young guys how to do it. So they started calling me AARP, and I actually was lucky enough to go on and win the Roto Grip Challenge. Matter of fact, I'm one of 2 people to actually won the Roto Grip Challenge and won the actual TAT tournament. So I'm in a elite group there. I'm very lucky again, but that was great. Man. I was having a good time when I won that tournament too, man. I was, you know, messing with all the Storm people in the back, were the Roto Grip people at the time. And I threw the first strike. You know, you had to throw three strikes. I threw the first one, got lucky, and shook out the bucket on the second one. Matter of fact, I don't even remember the guy's name. Stewart. Yeah, Stewart. What's Stewart? Stewart Williams. Matter of fact, I think he was on Stewart at the time, and he was commentating. And him and Rosio were saying that I was going to win the tournament. I threw the first one, flushed him. The second one, he was like, oh yeah, he's going to go pack. On the second one, I set it in on that lane. That lane was tighter, and I shook out the bucket. And Stewart was like, I didn't know he was going to shake out the buckheads. And then I packed back. And then when I got up, I had my ball in my hand, Brandon, for the last strike to win the $5,000. I turned around and told him, get that check ready because this one's going to be flush. And I flushed the last one. I walked it out and thhrrew my hands up in the air. I was on cloud 9, man. I was on cloud 9.
Hey, look, G, when you know, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad I struck because I'd have been embarrassed if I had left something. But Vegas has been good to me, man. Winning the TAG, winning the Roto Grip Challenge. I've been very fortunate to have a sponsor, you know, like Lou and Sarah, man. This man is amazing. You know, he owns all the Red Robins here in Michigan, you know, big money millionaire. But he's a close friend of mine, and he treats me like family. You know, he doesn't have to do all the things that he does for me and Brandy and a few of the other people that he takes out to the TAT every year. I wasn't able to bowl last year because I won the previous year. But, he took Brandy this year and he took a few other people. And, money is no object to him, man. He's just a generous person. He could take them millions and stay in the house all day and go to the casino. But he chooses to start organizations like the SSO. And he's probably one of the most important people in the bowling community in Michigan. He's very generous, man.
That's what's up. Hey, as an African-American father, with all that's going on in the world right now, have you had any additional talks with your kids about racism?
No, I haven't. I think the talks that I've had with them, and my boys are kind of low key. Dre probably is the most volatile out of the four boys. Dre is Dre.
Right.
And I would worry if Dre were to get pulled over, and he might be like, "Hey, why are you pulling me over?" I think my son G would be more like, "Hey, officer, what did I do?" And my son's Deshaun, he drives. He's such a likable, person. I don't think that he would have any kind of confrontation. And my son Trey isn't quite driving yet; he's getting his license. But I would probably worry about Dre more than anybody because Dre is Dre, and Dre can be stubborn, but he's a man, and he's cocky, and he ain't taking no mess from nobody. But that can be a bad thing at this time. Because I tell a story about whenever I get pulled over. At one time, Brandon, I had tinted windows on my Chrysler 300, and I got pulled over maybe 5 or 6 times. And cops would always walk up, and I'd be like, "Hey, officer, is everything okay? How you doing?" And try to start the conversation off politely. And they were always pulling me over because my windows were tinted. And I said, "I'm gonna just be honest with you. The reason why I'm driving around with these tinted windows, people kept breaking in and stealing my navigation system. So I tinted the windows dark to deter them from taking my navigation system. And every time they would let me go. But always, I wasn't like bowing down or nothing like that. But I was always polite and say, "Hey, officer," let them know that I know they're in charge. Or, "Hey, officer, was I speeding? Did I do something wrong?" You want to try to start off, with a good relationship, but some of them, I don't think it matters, Brandon. If you run into a police officer, a white police officer, maybe an African-American, if he's content on having issues with me, I don't think there's anything I can do to stop that. Hopefully my boys don't run into any issues like that. And I've been very fortunate that they haven't, man. I just would hope not, because if something were to happen to one of them, I really don't think I could continue on. I say that, and I really mean it, man. My boys are my life.
There you go. Hold on. I just had another question up there, and I switched it. Hold on. Here we go. No, it's this one first. Hey, Mo said, "Hey, give us a story about Billy's at Super Bowl, Michael Cleveland Thomas."
Superior Bowl. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's talking about Superior. He's talking about the Canadian club downtown, man. Oh, man. I got some stories. One of them involved me. I was in the top 5 on the Sunday, and the shot at the Canadian club was the gutter. There was no playing nowhere else. Some guys would migrate into maybe around 10, 8, but the shot was the gutter. And I was in the top 5 at the time, probably with 2 games to go. And I got out the game with a double and threw the first one in the gutter, on a double. And I was like, "Hey, I'm Gerald Johnson. I ain't about to pull this next one. I'm gonna send this one too." And I double gutter. Yeah, I double gutter. But I ended up shooting about 2-0 that game, and I still made the top 5.
Wow.
I double guttered at the Canadian club. But that used to be one of my favorite tournaments, man. That was Mac Ivory owned that place. Owned it. I think he won the Canadian club 3 out of 4 years, and you couldn't beat Mac Ivory in downtown at Superior. He was just unbelievable. He was unbelievable. Another quick story. I don't know if it was at the Canadian club. The greatest bowler in the past here, Black African American bowler Bobby Williams, he actually missed the game and still made the top 5.
He missed a game, a whole game?
Missed the whole game, came in Sunday morning late and missed the whole game.
Wow.
Hey, Brandon, he did it one year too in Chicago. We was in Chicago bowling. I don't know if it was the Carefree Curl tournament back in the day when they had Carefree Curl was sponsored. I ain't had no dairy girl though, but Leroy Johnson to tell you about this. We were staying in one of these dingy hotels in Chicago called the Roberts. The doors didn't lock. They had prostitutes standing out by the rooms. I think the room was about $14 a night, and we couldn't lock our doors. We were up all night worrying about somebody coming in our doors.
No way.
It was late the next morning for the tournament, and I think Bobby missed the game in that tournament. And I don't know if he still won it. I know he made the top.
Hey, that's crazy. Hey, look, Tank asked, hey, what is your take on urethane bowling balls and why they are used so much today?
Well, they're not used a lot, Tank. They're used in difficult conditions, because they're readable. You can read them. It's not going to really hook that much, and you can actually read the ball. That's why they use them, but it's mostly when it's under difficult conditions. Me myself, bowling in the SSO tournaments, we don't normally run into real tough conditions, but they use them. They use them a lot around here. Purple hammers and whatnot. And Stormers came out with a purple pitch, and you have to use them on some of these conditions because they're just so tough.
Yeah. Hey, Ronald Franklin said, hey, tell us about the other stroker in Detroit.
That's my man, Roland Franklin. They used to call him Stroker too, and they was like, which one of y'all? People would have a little conversation about who was this and who was that. It doesn't matter. Roland Franklin is one of the most genuine people I've ever met. I love this guy. And Roland doesn't live here anymore. He ain't a Detroiter anymore. He done left us. He done moved to another state, but they call him Stroker too, and it doesn't matter. That's my guy, and I love him to death, man.
Hey, Gerald Brown said, being such an accomplished bowler, you're a better father. Share a piece of advice for our younger parents.
Thanks, GB. I appreciate it. That's another guy that I love to death, man. I'm telling you, I'm blessed to have so many friends here in Detroit, Brandon. And Gerald Brown is an accomplished bowler. His brother, Greg Lefty Brown, is an accomplished bowler. Probably one of the best 1-2 brother combinations in Detroit history. But as far as giving advice for young parents, just love your kids. Love. Buying them Xbox, buying them PlayStations, all of that. That's all fine and dandy. But love. I've always given my boys the ultimate love and attention and time. Nothing beats that. You can't beat that. You give them time and you give them attention, and everything else will take care of itself. And I've always been there for my boys. Like I said, I don't miss any of their functions. All of that stuff comes first. There's no doubt where I'm going. If they got something going on, I'm going to be there, and they want to see my face in the crowd.
Right. There you go. Hey, you got another question.
Real quick, Brandon's Brandy's daughter, Sophie, she's holding up a sign for me to tell the viewers about her. That's Brandy's daughter, Sophia. I love her to death. She's holding up a sign to make sure that I mention her. Yeah, Sophie, I love you. You know I'm going to mention you.
There you go.
But yeah, love and Brandon, love and attention. Like I said, it's Brandy's daughter, and we live in the same household, so she's my daughter. I gotta love her, and she's a little white girl. What does that matter? She's in my family now. She's here, and I love her. And I don't see white. I see a little girl that needs attention, that needs love, and I'm gonna give her that. Anybody got a problem with that? Too bad. She's like my daughter. She lives here with me, so she's my daughter.
Preach, brother, preach, man. That's what I'm talking about right there, bro. Hey, you are one of the most accurate bowlers around. What advice do you have on consistently hitting your target and repeating shots?
Wow. Yeah, I'm all right. You talking about one of the most accurate to me I've ever seen is Ronnie Sparks. That's why I say he's the greatest bowler I've ever seen. But I've been fortunate enough to, I don't know, maybe it's just I got good hand-eye coordination because, I play golf too, Brandon, and I ain't bad. I make some birdies, I make some bogeys, but I'm real competitive. I used to play a lot, and I think I just got good hand-eye coordination. I got good hand-eye coordination.
Look, Dave, you play golf. Me and Jello play golf, but we're not that good. We hit the ball okay. We're going to get out one day.
Y'all got action. Y'all got action when I come to California. Then I'm gonna bring GG3 out there with me. We're gonna get y'all some action. GG3, we got action against Brandon and Jello.
Hey, we got action, bro. Absolutely.
It's funny too that I'm bowling. I'm actually golfing in a Father's Day tournament that we have every year here. This guy named Jason McCardle, they call him Ghost. That's my man. I laugh and joke when we get into it, but I love him to death. He has this golf tournament every Father's Day. All the fathers, we get out there and play, whether you're a good golfer or not. And They call it the Ride the Whip. And we actually have 50-something guys going this year to golf on Father's Day. Yeah, matter of fact, I think I got the greatest bowling group. I don't know if I got the greatest golf group, but I got in my group me, George Gohagan III, Ronnie Sparks, and Andrew Anderson. So anybody wants some action bowling after the golf, I like our chances, but I don't know about in the golf.
Wow.
I got a bowling team with Andrew and Ronnie and George Gohagan. George is my man. I met him, man, and this guy, he. Hey,
look, you just got a call out. I'm just saying.
I heard Scott Buchanan could play. Now he's still mad because I beat him in the semifinals at the Reed Hawthorne a couple of years ago. I got lucky. I tripped the 2 on him. And Scott's a great bowler, man. He led the qualifying this year at the Reed Hawthorne. But hey, Scott, you're gonna have to give me some strokes. I heard you're a great golfer. He's 22. And Scott chimed in. Another guy, just met him, been knowing him a couple of years, man, and we like family. Now, he's a white guy I'd never met before, only been knowing him a few years, and we like family, man. I love him to death. He's such a good guy. And matter of fact, I got to go into some of my Ohio people real quick. Brandon, guys like Scott Buchanan, Mike King, Adam Barta, Dan Higgins, George. George from Ohio, Michigan, George from everywhere. So I got to include George in all of these. I knew the great Mike Whalen, Sean Martin, I know Brian Himmler, and people like Ronald Sims, people like I said, great champions like Brian Himmler, man. It's like friends like that and people that I'm in contact with on Facebook. These guys are national PBA champs. They could be jerks or stuck up, or they just good people, man. I've been fortunate to know Brian through the years, through Mac Ivory, man. And these people are not just great bowlers, man. These people are good people. And if not, I wouldn't be around them, man. I wouldn't be around them. And like I said, I've been very fortunate. Hopefully I'll be remembered as a good father. I could care less. I don't want to say I could care less about the bowling because it's important, but being a father is anybody that knows me that's my number one thing.
There you go. Hey, Roland asks, do you play the dot or the arrows?
It all depends. If they're tight, I play the dots. I want to get it down sooner. If they hooking, I play the arrows. I'm still in decent shape. I try to loft it. I can't loft it like these young guys, like Ronnie and them, lofting it over the gutter cap. But I can get it down there. But I play the dots when they're tight and the arrows when they're hooking.
All right, hey Kenny, I appreciate you telling me this, man. Stroker over there trying to play me. Hey, Ken, I appreciate you, bro.
Kenny don't be messing up my action.
Man, I appreciate that, Ken.
My son Deshaun just walked. Come here, Sean. My son Deshaun just walked in, man. This guy right here, he's a scholar. He's an athlete. This is my guy right here. Been down, Sean, so everybody can see. Say what's up. This is my son Deshaun, Brandon.
What does he play? What sport?
He plays all sports, but he's going to Michigan State. He's top notch academics.
Hey, congrats on that, brother. Real talk. Congratulations, man.
This is my man right here. He just came in. I don't know if he had to work today, but like I said, I'm blessed. All right, get out of here. You're taking up my TV time. I'm very fortunate. My other son just came downstairs. He needed a haircut. His hair ain't been cut. In about 3 months, he said, "No,
hey, look, my hair ain't been cut, and I'm my own barber." But I'm representing for the people that can't go to the barbershop.
See, I ain't got that problem. I got that razor, and I ain't got Randy do my beard, which I never had anyway. So I ain't got that.
You trust her? You trust her with that?
Oh yeah, I trust her. Maurice said I got to share that SSO schedule. Maurice, I'll make sure I'll send you a schedule out tomorrow, brothers. It's been changed a little bit, with the pandemic, but we have a tournament every month. Sometimes we have 2 tournaments a month with the over under. We have an over under tournament every year, over 50, under 50. And I think last year we had 120 teams for that one up, Brandon.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we have the top notch bowlers bowling that, brother.
I talk to Vern and Jello every day, though. Those are my guys, man, my bros. Like, I'm the young guy in the crew. And those are my guys that I talk to every morning. We even called several people, you know, on our little conference call, but those are my guys. And I believe Vern telling me he was going to a SSO tournament, I believe.
Wow, I like he can come stay with me if he come out here one of them weekends. That's Black Jesus. You definitely welcome to stay here. Bring some blessings on us, Black Jesus. You definitely welcome to stay. You come to the SSO tournament.
Hey,
if not, Lou will get him put up in the Lou got all kind of comps at the MGM when they open back up. So anybody want to come bowl to SSO, Lou, don't worry. Lou will make sure they got somewhere to stay.
There you go. Hey, what do you fear most about being a father?
Losing one of my sons. I don't think I could continue on. That's I want them to bury me. That's the only fear I have, Brandon. I want them to bury me, and the only other fear I have is not being able to provide for them. Those are the only fears I have. Not being able to provide, and I want to make sure that they bury me.
There you go.
That ain't much to ask. That's basically all I want out of life. I want them to bury me, and I want them, they already know how much I love them, but I want to be able to provide for them so they can't provide for themselves.
Hey, dude, I've learned so much about Gerald Johnson, aka Stroker, on this call, guys. Like, I know, but here go another question, because I said you've named a lot of people from Detroit.
A lot of killers, man. Detroit, Ohio, Chicago, man. I've been so fortunate to be around the very best, man. And like I said, and the majority of them are just good people too, man. Like I said, because you don't want to be remembered for being an a-hole. You want to be remembered for being a great bowler. But like I said, people out. It was funny. I was watching the 30 for 30 the last couple of days with Lance Armstrong. And people remember. I try to tell my sons, people remember the last thing you did. They don't.
And the last thing he did was do them.
That's right, and the doping, and you don't want to be remembered for that. And I don't want to ever do anything that causes my sons harm down the road. I don't want to embarrass them where it's something, they be like, hey, man, your father did this or that. I want people to be able to say good things. People are always going to have haters. People are going to say what they're going to say, but They ain't going to be able to say I wasn't a great father. They can say whatever they want. They'll never be able to say that I wasn't a great father, because that's my number one priority, and I'm good at that.
There you go. Hey, guys, I don't know if y'all was listening earlier, but whenever Stroker goes down, on his tombstone, he don't want anything bowling related. All he want is to say how great of a father he was. Everyone knows. And like I said, if whenever that day comes, God willing, it doesn't come soon, but whenever it comes, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna hold him to it. I'm gonna call. If I gotta fly out to Detroit, Michigan myself, I'm like, dude, check this out, Brandy. You know what he said. Let's make it happen.
Yes, man. Like I say, I think what, and I actually the only list I actually didn't go over, Brandon, and I'm glad I looked at this again, was going up, in these SSO tournaments. People like, oh, they're senior tournaments. These are some of the best seniors that I've ever picked up a bowling ball that I'm actually competing against on a month-to-month basis. Like Mitch Jabzinski, he won the Super Honky one year. Bob Goyke, he was all events champion at ABC. Larry Walker, Troy Stubbs, Ken Wyatt, Mike Calvin, Joe Siak. He made the final.
Hey, hold on, Stoke, not to cut you off, but you just mentioned Mike Calvin's name, and he just said that's the most he's ever heard you talk.
I had to bring him. That's my man. He's a great bowler. He's not a bad golfer either, like I say. But Rick Vitone used to bowl on the tour. He bowls in our SSO tournaments. Dale Strike. We got some great bowlers, man. And people think it's easy to win those tournaments. Nah, not at all. Not at all. Listen to Mike Calvin talking about it's the most you've ever heard me talk. First time I've been on the podcast. Well, I'm supposed to be quiet. I'm telling him I let my bowler do the talking. And I'm going to make sure I hit the Brooklyn the next time I bowl him. He get mad if you hit the Brooklyn on him.
Man, I get mad when I see Brooklyn. Man, that's bull crap. But I get happy when I do get one, though. So
y'all sound like Marshall Holman. Marshall Holman would have had 40 he would probably won 40 tournaments if he didn't get mad when his opponent hit the brook. That's what Mike Chapman told me. You ain't got no control of what your opponent do, man. If you can't take it, don't watch. If somebody getting a lucky break bothers you, don't watch.
And that's what I'm learning now, because Vern, talking to Vern a lot and going out on the road with Vern, he says, hey, you got to watch the balls go down the lane so you can see the breakdown, you can see this, you can see that. But at the same time, now I'm trying to learn if they get these lucky strikes and I'm in the pocket not getting strikes. Now I'm trying to learn how do I mentally tune that out and just kind of watch the ball go down the lane.
You gotta say it's just their day. You can't stop something that's meant to be. It's just their day. Like Vern is right. You know, it'd be different if you bowling against a left-hander, you ain't gotta watch him because he's throwing it from the left side. But if you bowling another right-hander, it's to your advantage to watch what his ball does, because the lanes might just all of a sudden break down and you see his ball react from the same spot you were playing from. So now you got an advantage the next time you get up. Say, hey, if his ball did that, and if he threw a good shot, you probably should make a move off of that. Because just like bowling tournaments, it's funny when I bowl these SSO tournaments, and when you get done with your game and you go down, I heard them try to go to the next pair and watch people that are playing the lane similar to me, so I can get a read before I get to that pair. I see people off getting a pop or just sitting around talking, and when you could be down on the next pair watching the pair that you're going to, and that's a huge advantage.
Hey, who is Lou?
Lou is Lou Anser. That's Mr. SSO. He's the director. He started it all. He's Mr. Red Robin, owned all the Red Robin. That's the man right there, Lou Anser.
Hey, Lou, I appreciate you coming and tuning in, Lou. Thank you. Hey, you got you a good one here for sure.
You wouldn't be tuning in if MGM was open. He'd be pulling that slot. He wouldn't, Brad. He'll tell you if he wouldn't be tuning in. We wouldn't have him as a guest if MGM was open. He wouldn't be here. He'd be
oh man,
that's my guy. Though Lou is good people, man. Like I said, I'm very blessed to have Lou.
He said, "Where is your shirt?"
I got it on my Storm shirt. He's talking about my SSO shirt.
Yeah.
I'll wear that on the next one, Lou.
Hey, what's the best? Hey, Mo said, "What's the best ball you ever had?"
What'd you say?
What's the best ball you ever had?
High road, Storm High Road, no comparison. Best ball ever made. Most versatile ball ever. What up, Jello? Hey, tell Jello I seen that video of him slam dunking.
Hey man, how many people did he send that to? Look, dude. Hey, let's go. Hey,
I seen that video of Jello getting up. I didn't know Jello was Jordan. Man.
Dude, hey, look, he didn't tell y'all that wasn't Jello dunking. Jello was on the bench cheering for his teammate that was dunking. Dude, don't let Jello fool y'all.
Oh, Brandon, that was Jello. There ain't no way that was somebody else. That was my man Jello. Jello was a bad man.
No.
Jello was a bad man. Jello was my man. I love Jello, man. I'm telling you. You fortunate to be around people like him and Burn, and I'm telling you, Jello was they just down to earth good people, man. It's funny too. Hey, Jello, remember your last game at the Reed Hawthorne? Jello was like, I need to throw a 12-bagger stroker, man. I need to put some heat on these guys. What'd he do? He fell a few pins short of making the top 7 or whatever, but he put some heat on them guys. I met a few other real good brothers at the Reed Hawthorne this year. I bowled with this one guy. I had no idea how good this guy was, Brandon. I don't know if you know Tyrone Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude. When they did the pairings on Sunday, they had him on the wrong pair. He should have been on a pair. I think he maybe is in like 3rd place. So he should have been a couple pairs over. But, they had made a mistake. He had already warmed up on the pair. I was on the pair with him, and he had already warmed up. And I was like, hey, this is wrong. He should be on the pair with the people that he in contention with for making the top 5. And he was like, hey, that's okay. Just, I'm cool. I practiced on this pair. He was so cool about it. And he kept his wit about it, man. He started striking, and yeah, he made that top 5. And like I said, I didn't realize what a good brother he was. Such a cool guy and a hell of a bowler, man. It's nice to get to see other brothers from other states that are, I had no idea who this guy was.
Yeah.
Hell of a bowler. I know who he is now.
Hey, do you remember? I'm going to bring it up because Jello is my ace, man. Jello, like I said, Jello and Vern, man, Charles Elia, those are my people, man. And do you remember? I was like, and I'll never forget it because that was my boy, man. The first year Jello bowled the Reed, and he was I don't know if he was top seed or top 5.
He was close. Yeah, he's right there at the top 5.
Man, dude, that had to be the best moment for me as his boy.
Yeah, I was right there. I was right there next to him. Matter of fact, I don't know if that's the year because I finished second. I lost to Danny Guerri. I finished second, and then the next year I didn't win. I missed the top 5. I think I was like 7, and then I won the year after that. That's when I beat Vern in the finals. And you know what? Remembering that tournament, I actually felt bad for Vern because Vern could have easily won that tournament. I don't know if Vern was on the strike. He got up in the ninth, and when he got ready to release his shot, somebody yelled, like from a couple pair over or something. And to this day, I was hoping they give Vern the shot over. I was like, man, that don't seem fair. I want to win, but I don't want to win that way. I was hoping they would give Vern the shot over. And Vern, being the guy that he is, being cool daddy, he was like, nah, it didn't bother me, and he didn't strike. I think he tapped. He left the 7th pin. And then I needed a mark in the 10th. I left the 10th pin, and I beat Vern. But I was like, man, I felt bad. He's like, man, you ain't got nothing to feel bad about. But I felt like, it was an unjust win because I thought it bothered him. But he said it didn't bother him.
Yeah, man. It's so crazy, man. Hey, Vern, dude.
We hung out a little bit at the TAC this year, where, Brandy was bowling. And she made the finals, and then Vern and this girl, we were downstairs, and I bought him some coffee, and we had a nice little talk, and I got to learn, a little bit more about him, and he's just good people, man. And like I said, I could care less what your average is or how many tournaments you won. If you good people, you straight with me. That's what I care about, people's character. I could care less. You could average 240 or you could average 140. I could care less.
Oh, so look, they said Tyrone is team Roto Grip.
I just found that out. Yeah, he was team everything because he was striking. I was on the pair with him for them 4 games. Matter of fact, I actually bowled good the first game, but I didn't bowl good the other 3, and I didn't make the top 7 because, like I said, I had won the year before. But like I said, I got a chance to bowl with Tyrone, and yeah, he team Roto. He was strapping him down there, man. He's a great bowler, and he was more than anything. He was a cool guy, and I got to know him real well in just that one tournament.
Yeah. Let's see. What's your favorite voodoo layout?
Mike Calvin talking about my voodoo layout. I wrote it down. It's Mike Calvin is 40 by 5 by 50, pin up slightly right in the ring finger with the CG kicked out. I hope he didn't hear that because I don't need him having no advantage over me. I don't need Mike Calvin having no layouts. He already too good as it is. He was on Team USA at one time.
Hey, Wanda, you missed it. I think he said it was the high roll.
Yeah, that's my favorite ball of all time. I know I had at least 12 or 13 300s with that high roll.
What is it? The blue one?
Yes. Oh yeah. Man.
And see, when I used to throw everything, dude, the blue one and the purple one were those were my favorite balls ever. I'm like, oh my god, dude,
that high roll has got to be the best ball they ever made, man. Of course, Storm. I got harsher than Storm, but I'm telling you, man, it was just so versatile. It was so easy. What made it so great of a ball? It was just easy to read. It wasn't going to do anything you wasn't doing to it. It was easy to read, and that's the best part about bowling. You got to know, knowing your equipment. You got to know what the balls do, and that's probably something I might be lacking a little on because I don't practice with them, so I only get to read them when I get up and through them in warm up. So maybe I should be practicing with them a little bit more.
Hey, Robert Bradley said, tell everyone about the champagne.
All we needed to do was win one game on Friday night, and this clown Robert Bradley gonna bring champagne down there, and we never got to pop it because we got swept. We got swept by Reggie Denard and them team, the late great Reggie Denard. They swept us. And we never opened up that champagne.
Hey, we're gonna blame that on Rob then. Rob should have brought the champagne after y'all got the one game.
They bring us right there in front of them and got them all riled up. They saw that champagne and put a whooping on us.
Yeah, that's cruddy. Hey, Nobby said, so now that she averaged 194, that means you're not replacing me.
Randy won't let me bowl with nobody else, Novella. I'm sorry. I love you to death. Brandy won't let me bowl with nobody else.
Hey, look,
Brandon, I would though, in the future, I would love to bowl a tournament and win a doubles tournament with my son Dre. That's one of the things I would love to do in the future.
Is Dre the only one that bowls?
No, all the other boys bowl, but not really competitively. You know, my older son, he bowls. He know how to read lanes, and if he bowl. And my younger boys bowl for fun. My son Trayvon is actually getting into it this year, and he's both Sophie bowls. But yeah, I would love to bowl a tournament and win a doubles tournament with Dre. It's hard because then that means I got to fire Jordan. So so there's gonna be some issues with that.
It's gonna be some issues.
Me and Jordan have won tournaments together. We won an SSO over under doubles tournament together. That was one of my favorite tournaments, winning with Jordan. And we won another tournament up in Lansing last year, a doubles tournament, me and Jordan. But Jordan is a hell of a partner. I think as long as he'll have me, I'll continue to bowl with him.
Hey, Jordan Horns, if you listening, or anybody can report to Jordan Horns, tell him he can see me on the court. We shooting for money. And Dre, if you want to join, I'm all in too.
Brandon, you don't want no part of Dre on the court.
Hey, Dad.
Brandon, you don't want
Dad.
You better play Jello. You don't want no part of Dre on the court.
Hey, I'm not about to drive. I'm not dribbling. We shoot. That's it. That's it.
Well, you might have a chance there. He definitely got hands, but he can shoot too. But I don't think you want no part of Dre on the court. No, Brandon, I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't let you do that to yourself. I wouldn't.
Hey, I'm not running no more, and I'm not about to play no defense. No, I'm done with all that. Yeah.
Hey, Jello, that's one of my favorite tournaments too, man. It was nice to meet him. Hey, it was another guy came from California one year, and he was a right-handed guy, Brandon. He was
Herman Ferguson.
Who?
Herman Ferguson.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it was another guy. It wasn't Herman. It was another guy. He bowled on the same pair with Vernon one year. I was right next to him, and this guy real dark-skinned brother, he could really hook it, and he kept leaving solid nines. I guarantee you that Vern will remember who I'm talking about. He came that one year. He threw it so good, but he kept
dark-skinned?
Huh?
Dark-skinned?
Yeah. Yeah, real dark-skinned brother. He came with Vern and them one year he was from California. And he didn't make the top 5, but he threw it good. He threw it good.
Jello, who is he talking about? Dark-skinned dude that came out there to the read.
He came out one of the first years. He came out there, when they started having the seniors. He came out a few years ago, and he threw it so good, man. He kind of slender guy, really hooked it, but he was tapping a lot. Can't think of his name. I think he had glasses, but he didn't come back the following year.
I don't know. I got to think. Let me think.
Okay.
Let me think. Hey,
all the guys from California was good people.
Hey, we all good people. Oh, hey, was it Ed Gardner?
I think it was. The name sounds familiar. It might have been Ed Gardner. It sounds familiar, man. But all I know is he threw it real good. He was on the same pair with Vern.
Because Ed Gardner he did come out there, and he hasn't. Like I said, I haven't seen Ed.
I think that's.
It might be Robert McGraw. But Robert not from LA.
Oh, he's not from LA? Well, all I know, I thought this guy was from LA because he was on the same pair with Vern.
No, Robert McGraw is from Dallas or Houston. He's out that way, from Texas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Robert McGraw throws the ball really well. He does.
Whoever this guy was, he threw it great.
Yeah. Hey, which one are you looking forward to more? When getting back to bowling or the people at the bowling alley?
No doubt to people, man. No doubt to people. Like I said, I miss bowling. I'm not one of them guys that's going crazy, because I got to go to work. I go to work every day, so that takes up my day, and then come home and be with the family. But the people, man, the people at like Vision Lanes, that's, the owner there, Steve Klein, man, this guy, another white guy who I'm like one of my best friends, a great guy owner at Vision Lanes. People like that, man. It's like a family atmosphere. He treats everybody so good when you go in there. It's definitely the people. Definitely looking to see the CU Kung Pao. That's Brian Odom. I call him Kung Pao. That's one of my Asian brothers.
There you go, man.
He throws it great too. We got guys like him, man, that people never even heard of. It's just great bowlers. I remember him winning the sweeper one time at Thunder Bowl. Brian Odom, who was that you beat in the finals? The touring guy, was that Robert Smith? He'll answer that. He'll answer. It was a tour guy that he beat in the finals. And we got some guys here that throw it good, man. But they got families and they bowl when they can. We got guys, Craig Niederfurs, Frank Snodgrass, Justin Knoll, Corey Hines, then some of my white brothers who just good people. I wouldn't associate with them at all if they weren't good people. They're great bowlers, but they're good people, man. Like I say, I'm fortunate to have a guy like Lonnie Jones drilling my equipment. I take my stuff into Lonnie and I leave and I come back. I don't got to tell him what I need, what I want. He knows what I like. And, we got a lot of great ball drillers here. Him, it could be him, Ronnie. Kurt Pilon used to drill my stuff. And Kurt Pilon, was a great bowler, ABC titles. Oh, yeah, it was Robert Smith. That's who he beat. He beat him on the sharp pattern. Robert Smith, I met Robert Smith back at the High Rollers in the early 90s before, he's real close friends with Carlton Chambers. But I knew Robert Smith back then, and he was a beast, man. And like I said, he befriended me. He was a nice guy, treated me like I was a tour player or something, and and stuff like that. You never forget. That's why you cheer so much harder for guys like that when when you see them on TV. And I was like, man, this guy was nice to me, and I was I never consider myself a nobody, but I was just a regular old guy. Matter of fact, Brandon, one year at the Canadian Club. Well, it was still the Canadian Club. Maybe when they moved it to Palisades Palace, and in Ohio, out in the suburbs. Tommy Jones bowled one year. I met Tommy Jones. Became friends with Tommy Jones. Every time I see him at one of these tour stops when they come to Michigan, I don't care what he's doing. He turns around and hey, Gerald, what's up? Blah blah blah, and things like that make you feel good. Not that I need attention from a PBA star, but it's nice that they're good people.
Yeah, it's so funny because when I was
for people like that, man.
When I was going through, I was at South Point when they were bowling, when Tommy was bowling nationals, and I walked by, Tommy, I'm like, what up, T? Because like I said, I've had several encounters with him, so he knows who I am. He talked to me, but Tommy is good people, man.
Good people. Like I say, it's not even important to me to be known by people, and people got their different opinions about things. My boy's opinion about me is basically all I care about. Of course, with Brandy's, but my boy's opinion is my boy. I don't want to get in trouble, but my boy's opinion is the most important thing to me, Brandon. I don't want to say I don't care what the people in the bowling alley think of me, or I don't want to say that because that's important too. But what my boys think of me, being there,
is the most important.
That's all that matters, man. Nobody can take that away. They know they got a good dad. They know they can count on me. I will go to my grave doing what I can for them. They got to be self-sufficient too. But, I can't be a crutch for them for forever. But they know if they get in a jam or really need something, I'm going to be there. And it ain't always just about money or whatever. Sometimes they need somebody to talk to or something that, they should know that they can come to me and talk to me about anything. At least I hope they do. I know when they were younger, I used to tell them all the time, hey, you can tell me anything. And then they wouldn't, they'd be like, yeah, right. I'll be like, I ain't gonna get mad. They were like, yeah, right. And that was the hardest thing, was to get your boys to believe that they could come to you and tell you anything. I think as they got older, they realized it, but they're like, no, Dad ain't going for that. I ain't telling them that. They wouldn't tell me anything. The bill came out not too often. I hardly ever had to put my hands on my boys. I can't even count on one hand my 4 boys if I ever had to get the belt out or something like that. So like I said, I've been fortunate in that aspect, and I'm lucky to just have, good kids, man. That's a blessing.
Hey.
That's a blessing, brother.
Stroke, dude. Hey, I love your story. I love your energy, bro. Like, you have no idea, man. I truly.
I appreciate it, Brad. I ain't going nowhere, man. As God keep me healthy, man. I plan on trying to win a few more tournaments. If I never win another one, man, they can try to catch them 20 titles in the SSO. Somebody probably pass me one day, but I ain't going nowhere. Steve Ewald talking about I'm gonna be the commentator with him in the finals every tournament. I plan on being in the finals. I don't want to be up there commentating. I'm planning on still winning, but if I never win another, and you know what? I meant to give you my all nice team. If I ever had to pick 4 guys to bowl with, you know, when you got nothing, it doesn't matter, you know, what they average or talent or whatnot. But as far as nice guys, if I could just pick 4 guys to bowl with, it would be Frank Robinson III.
Yep.
Terry Dockery, my man DP Nice, and my man Ian Sosa. Them 4 guys right there, man. I'm telling you, I got so much love for them 4 guys. And Terry Dockery, matter of fact, you might have met. Did you ever meet Terry? He bowled one year in the Reed Hawthorne a few years ago. Matter of fact, he finished second to Danny Guerrero. Matter of fact, Danny won back-to-back years, and Terry Dockery finished second that year. But
I know exactly who Dockery is. I think he was there with his wife.
Yes. One of the best people in the bowling alley that you'll ever meet. Everybody loves this guy, man. Doc is such a good guy. You talking about a golfer? Oh yeah, you would need about 6 shots aside messing with Doc. He's pretty much right. But he's a beautiful human being, man. And I'm telling you, man, this guy, people like him, people like Frank Robinson, like I said, DP Nice, Ian Sosa, they make me want to continue to be in the bowling alley. Because for a minute, I was thinking about, man, I'm done with bowling. I done did a few things, and but people like them, I would miss seeing people like that. So that makes me want to continue to come back to bowl. Like I said, people like you, Vernon, Jello, and all the good people I got around me here in Detroit, man. Like I said, I ain't going nowhere no time soon. One of these days, if the Rodman still exists, when I'm tired of bowling in them, because I ain't tired of bowling, I plan on being I want to be the tournament director for the Bill Rodman tournament. I've always
y'all heard it. Look, y'all heard it right here on Going
Debbie definitely knows. I talked to Debbie about it, and she wants me to take over one day, but I ain't done bowling yet, so I can't see myself in there doing all that paperwork and running them computers, but I could be out there still winning. So that's gonna have to wait a minute.
There you go. Hey man, hey dude, look, hey, I know myself and all the viewers truly appreciate you and your stories, bro. Because, dude, I'm telling you, when I put it up there, man, I just seen all the love that you got.
I appreciate it, Brandon, man. I'm very fortunate, man. Like I said, I wasn't always the person that I am. My man, Mike Chapman, I owe him forever for making me a better person, man. And like I say, at the end of the day, the awards and everything, it's all nice, man, but that ain't what they gonna remember when you leave here, man. And I want to be remembered for being, a decent person, a loving father, a caring father, and that's about all that matters to me, man.
There you go.
This stuff will come and go. Like I said, records may be broken. Somebody will win more than I did, and I'm just very thankful to. All I ever wanted to do was win one tournament, bowl one 300 game, and bowl one 800 series, and then they, after that, I was good. I just wanted to get one of each, and I'm good with that. Oh, and I got a hole in one too, Brandon. So watch yourself. Yeah, I got a hole in one too. Don't.
Hey, Jello, if you still listening, him and GG3 are supposed to come out to LA one day, and we're supposed to go golfing. But Kenny Rogers already warned us that stroke is good. So
I ain't good.
He threw that wheel out there, and he's kind of doing this a little bit. But you don't really see him doing this.
Hey, tell Jello them 2 hands or whatever ain't gonna help on the golf club. Telling me all that hook ain't gonna matter with that golf club in his hand. He be splattering and sending them messengers with that bowling ball. That golf ball, if he be splattering them, it's gonna be going this way.
Hey, Jill. So hey, we got a match, bro. So just be ready. We got a match, man. Hey, I mean, we got to get to the golf course and start putting in a little work.
Yeah, y'all better get to the driving range, bro.
Oh boy,
Brandon, this has been. I'm telling you, man. I was looking so forward to this, man, and I hope I was a decent guest, man, and I hope I appreciate all the questions that people ask, man, and I got so much love for all the Detroit bowlers, man, and I hope I didn't forget anybody. It wasn't intentional, but there's just so many great bowlers, man, and I tried to mention as many as I can, and I'm telling you, I will not go back on my saying Ronnie Sparks Jr. is the greatest bowler I have ever seen.
And if y'all missed that, y'all heard it right here from Stoke.
Heard it right here. I ain't, I'm sorry to put that pressure on Ronnie, But I'm telling you, I've just seen too much of it, man. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that agree with me too. And like I said, ain't taking nothing from the national stars. The guys got all these titles, PBA. I ain't taking nothing from them, man. But if Ronnie had the backing and the time and wasn't raising a family and was out there every day, and that's all he did, he would have as many titles as anybody out there. And I'll go to my grave thinking that. And like I said, it's just one man's opinion, man. I think I just love him so much because of the person that he is.
Right.
It's easy for me to say that, I just got mad love for him, man.
Oh, Mike Calvin said he a teacher too?
Oh yeah, right. Ronnie is one of the best teachers. Ronnie been helping. Mike Calvin was already a great bowler, and he just went to another level after Ronnie worked with him. I don't think Ronnie could help me. He can't do nothing with this hop, so I don't think he could help me.
Hey, don't fix the hop. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That helped me get action. They be like, man, that guy hopping, he a bum, man. That helped me keep some action. I get action every now and then. So,
man, hey, whoever's trying to get that action is done.
I can still throw it a little bit when I need it. I ain't Jello. Brandon, I ain't never been afraid. Never been afraid.
I'm already knowing.
I ain't never been afraid.
Wow. Man.
But I'm hopeful, man. Like I said, I'm very fortunate, man. I thank Storm and all the people associated with Storm. And I appreciate everything they've ever done for me. And, if it ended tomorrow, I would be grateful. And, and yeah, you got, like he said, you got to get Ronnie Sparks on the show, man.
I'm about to look. Soon when the show is over, I'm going and I'm hitting Ronnie up. Say, hey.
He got so much knowledge, man. But like I said, the bowling part of it, the type of human being he is, man. Like I said, the people like him and like Mason Bradley, their love for their families, man, supersedes anything they've ever done bowling, man.
Right.
And I'm just learning this about them. They're just great people, man. And I'm glad to be associated with those type of people. And I'll continue to be this way probably to the day I die, man.
There you go, brother. Hey, look, man, I appreciate you, Stroke, man.
No problem, Brandon. I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. All my West Coast people, man, I'm telling you, I'm coming out there. I got to come see my man, Raul Rosales. I met him at the Tat, man. That's my dude, man. That guy throws so good. I'm coming out to that West Coast. I'm a bowler in some tournaments, and I'm going to play some golf.
All right, yeah. Hey, we got some stuff coming. So like I said, man, when it do, you're going to be one of the first people I hit say, hey, Stroke, we got this, man. You need to come through.
I'm coming. I'm coming, brother. I appreciate you having me on, Brandon.
Oh, absolutely. Brandy, Stroke, man, you guys have a great evening, man. Hey, and continue to be that great
She heard you.
Man.
She heard you.
Continue to be that great father figure, bro. Real talk.
Appreciate it, brother. I'm gonna do that until the day I die, bro. I appreciate you having me on, Brandon.
No doubt, man. Hey, have a great evening, brother, and be
All
safe.
right, talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody.
All right, bro.
All right, later.
Later. Man, that was the world famous Gerald Johnson, man. Stroker for you guys, man. Detroit, Michigan. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of just all over the place, man. And I've learned a lot about him just now. And I met him a couple years ago at the Reed Hawthorne. And ever since then, man, he's been very down to earth, man. So, hey, I appreciate you guys asking questions. I appreciate everybody tuning in, man. Hit that share button. Like I said, YouTube channel going live with Bowtie. If you guys don't have Facebook, or your friends don't have Facebook, man, all I want to do is get the stories out here from these great individuals, not just bowlers, but individuals, man. And that's a lot what we miss, and that's why I created this platform of the stories we can tell as individuals, not as bowlers. Yeah, we have bowling stories, but we want to know outside of the bowling. So, man, Stroke, I appreciate you coming on, man. Real talk. Thursday, I have the chef, Denise Blackman. Real talk. I have Denise Blackman coming on Thursday. I'm going to do a poll because right now I'm 2 days a week, Tuesday and Thursday. I want to know, should I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or should I keep it to Tuesday and Thursday? Y'all let me know, man, because I want to do what my viewers want to see. If y'all want to see 3 days a week, Bowtie's going to make 3 days a week happen. Y'all say keep it at 2. 2 is cool. 2 days a week it is. So I'm gonna put a poll out there for you guys, man. Like I said, dude, thank you for everything. You guys are like absolutely amazing. Y'all already know I love everything, man. So I am here to make it happen, and here it goes, man. My outro. I'm back. Y'all already know. Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
I gotta strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glower, yeah, I'm fresh out the shop. Let's start rolling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Yo, I am your host, Brandon Grant, man. Thank you for tuning in to Going Live with Bowtie. And I'll see you guys Thursday. Denise Blackman coming in the show, man. Thanks a lot. And hit that share button, man. Bowtie out. Peace.